Before we begin today's story, take one quick second to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and leave a like. Stories like this are difficult to tell because some memories never truly fade. They stay with you quietly long after the moment itself has passed. And trust me, this is one of those moments. Some changes in life happen loudly. Others arrive in complete silence. No warning. No dramatic sign. No feeling that your entire world is about to shift. Just one ordinary morning. And then suddenly, nothing feels ordinary anymore. I remember that morning better than I remember birthdays, holidays, or even important milestones. Maybe because it didn't begin with chaos. It began with stillness. The kind of stillness that makes you feel every second passing. Soft sunlight slipped through the curtains in thin golden lines across the wooden floor. The clock on the wall ticked steadily, louder than usual somehow, as if the house itself was reminding me that time never stops for anyone. Tick, tick, tick. I woke up the same way I always did. Slowly, carefully. At 61 years old, your body speaks to you differently. Every movement carries history inside it. Not pain exactly, just reminders. I stood in front of the bathroom mirror for a long moment, staring at my reflection. "You're still here," I whispered quietly to myself. "Keep going." It had become a habit over the years. People say loneliness is dramatic, that it crashes into your life like a storm. But the truth is much quieter than that. Loneliness settles into the corners of your routine. It sits beside you during breakfast. It waits in empty rooms. It follows you even when your life looks perfectly normal from the outside. And mine did look normal. I exercised. I kept the house clean. I stayed busy. I filled every hour with routines because routines leave less space for feelings. But emptiness is patient. No matter how carefully you avoid it, it always waits for you to notice it again. Strangely, the only moments that feeling disappeared were the mornings Jack came by. Jack was the new delivery driver in the neighborhood. Young. Maybe 22. Always relaxed. Always smiling like the world hadn't disappointed him yet. There was something effortless about him. Something warm. He spoke casually to everyone, laughed easily, moved through life without hesitation. And somehow, without even trying, he reminded me of a version of myself I thought had disappeared years ago. At first, our conversations were small. "Morning. How's your day? Careful, that package is heavier than it looks." Nothing important. But slowly, I started ordering things I didn't need. A book I never planned to read. Kitchen tools I already owned. Candles that stayed unopened on the shelf. Each delivery gave me another excuse to hear the doorbell ring. And every single time it did, my heart reacted before my mind could stop it. I told myself it meant nothing. But deep down, I knew better. That morning felt ordinary too. I stepped outside holding a cup of coffee while the cool morning air brushed gently against my skin. The street was nearly empty, wrapped in silence before the city fully woke up. Then I saw him. Jack. Riding his motorcycle down the street like always, one hand relaxed on the handlebar, sunlight catching against his jacket. I smiled without realizing it. And then everything changed. The motorcycle suddenly slipped sideways. The tires screeched violently against the pavement. For one frozen second, my brain refused to understand what I was seeing. Then he hit the ground hard directly in front of my house. The coffee cup slipped from my hand and shattered somewhere behind me, but I barely heard it. My body was already moving before my thoughts caught up. "Jack." He tried to sit up as I reached him, breathing hard through clenched teeth. Blood ran down his elbow. His knee was scraped badly against the pavement. But somehow he still smiled. "I'm okay," he said quickly. Too quickly. "No, you're not." I snapped before I could stop myself. Fear had already taken over. He looked surprised by the sharpness in my voice, but I didn't care. I helped him stand carefully, sliding my arm beneath his shoulder to support his weight. The moment I touched him, something shifted inside me. Not excitement. Not panic. Something deeper. Something dangerous. We moved slowly toward the house while his motorcycle lay abandoned behind us. Neither of us spoke for several seconds. The silence between us suddenly felt heavier than before. Inside, I guided him carefully onto the couch and rushed to grab the first aid kit from the bathroom cabinet. My hands trembled slightly as I cleaned the blood from his arm. He noticed immediately. "You don't have to do all this," he said softly. "Yes, I do." The words came out quieter than I expected. For a moment, neither of us looked away. The room felt strangely small, too quiet. As I wrapped the bandage around his arm, our fingers brushed together briefly. Just 1 second. But it lingered. Warm. Real. Impossible to ignore. "Judith," he said carefully, almost uncertain. Hearing my name in his voice sent a strange ache through my chest. I looked at him, really looked at him for the first time since the accident. And suddenly, I realized something terrifying. I hadn't felt this alive in years. Maybe even decades. And the worst part? I wasn't sure I wanted the feeling to stop. But deep down, I already knew this moment would change everything. And not all changes come without consequences. If you're enjoying the story so far, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. Because this was only the beginning.